Hello everyone, this is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, here with another exciting video, and in this video I'm going to be playing some AI Dungeon 2. Now today my goal was to become the #1 AI Dungeon 2 survival mode player in the world, and I did. I got a score of 2,599 points, which at the time was unprecedented. No one had even broken the 2,000 point barrier. But now, Safkey has retaken the throne as the #1 best AI Dungeon 2 survival mode player in the world, and a player called 4D Name has beaten my score, pushing me back down to 3rd place, which is where I was at the beginning of the day. I was planning on tonight uploading another Jet Starlight AI Dungeon 2 video, but when I noticed that I had been knocked off from my throne as 1st place, I just had to do it to him. So today, I'm going to be hopping back into AI Dungeon 2 survival mode, and I'm going to be trying to keep my 1st place position. In other words, future AI Dungeon 2 videos are going to be a mix of me doing survival mode content and me doing my normal AI Dungeon 2 content, but I'm putting a priority on doing the survival mode content at the moment, because it's just really cool to be able to play a game competitively and to be able to try and get like better and better at a game over time. Now, AI Dungeon 2 survival mode is a very grindy game. I don't know how entertaining it is for you guys to watch me play it, but hey, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, do you like the AI Dungeon 2 survival videos? Yes or no? Definitely let me know. But without further ado, let's hop right in and begin. I'm going to name my character Safkey. Also, I noticed that Safkey does something very interesting when he plays AI Dungeon 2. He actually names himself an emoji, and he uses emojis as he plays the game. So Safkey actually named himself the crab emoji, and then he would do stuff like summon crab emoji or just post crab emoji, which is really interesting. I don't know how the game interprets stuff like that, but it's interesting to see what other people are doing when they play through these survival mode runs. Real quick, let me double check to make sure that I'm recording. Yep. Okay, you are Safkey, a ranger in the kingdom of Loria. You are in the Lorian woods hunting deer when you hear a loud noise. Goblins start streaming through the underbrush. You only have a small knife to fight them off. The first goblin to approach is a small green one. It's brandishing an axe. Okay. So my strategy last time was to say that you kill goblin babies. So I'm probably going to do something similar this time around as well. I'm trying to see if I don't learn any other skills and I put all my points into melee, it'll remember that I put my points into melee. Cool. Then we're not going to learn any other skills. We're just going to dump all our points into melee all the time. We're going to unequip the knife, sell the knife. That's a big thing with me. I feel like you don't need weapons in this game. You'd rather save all your gold to just use to buy more lives. So I'm going to slay 3 goblin babies, and you should say that you slay like 3 defenseless goblin babies. You should even say that you like effortlessly slay 3 defenseless goblin babies. Go harder. You effortlessly slay 3 defenseless unarmed goblin babies. You can even go further. You are a professional goblin baby slayer, and you effortlessly slay 3 defenseless unarmed goblin babies. There we go. You punch the goblin babies so hard that their heads spin and they die. You slay 3 goblin babies. And it says I gained 3 points. So now I'm going to do that again. And I feel like I'm going to be doing that a lot. So it said it doesn't know what to say. So I'm going to repeat it and hope that the AI gets it the next time. Okay, so I did it again. There are now 6 goblins, so change it from 3 to 6. Copy and paste. That's what we do. Ooh, score is now straight up called kills. I like that a lot because I think that's really going to help me. No joke. Like, if score is directly correlated to kills, like how many you kill, then that'd be great. Okay, so now it says that I slayed 11 goblins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They still need to do the thing, because I mentioned this in my last video. They need to do something where it counts how many turns you have on the side, or at the top it tells you how many, like, skill points you have. Excuse me. Because you constantly want to know how many skill points you have. And because it doesn't tell you how many skill points you have to remember that like every 5 turns, you gotta check your skill points or whatever. Okay, cool. And double check to make sure that it saved that melee is at 4. Okay, cool. And we're just gonna keep upgrading like melee. Just melee is the only skill you need. Just beat them down. We're not gonna use the story summary. It's no need for the story summary. But using this long message like this, I think will really help us out a lot. Because I think it's going to be hard for the AI to try and say, oh, well, the goblin baby, you can't get the goblin babies because of this or that. Because the goblin babies are unarmed and they're defenseless, and we're professional goblin baby slayers, so clearly we're like skilled in this art kind of thing. So I think we'll be good. So let's check our equipment. We're going to sell off all our equipment. Also, it would be nice if this was like a game mode option. Like if I could set it to auto sell all equipment, because you're going to do the challenge like barehanded. And if I could set it to automatically like upgrade melee. Like essentially if this was recognized as a play style, I think that would be really nice. Because then I wouldn't have to keep like doing upkeep like that. There are only 6 enemies, and I normally like to change the number to match how many enemies there are. I'm not going to change the number now. If it's below 10, I'm going to keep acting like there are 10. I'm going to keep saying that I like killed 10. Now there are 9 of them. I'm still going to say that I'm killing 10, even though that's more than the number of goblins that there are. Cool. I actually got 21 points from that. Okay. Upgrade our melee up to 5. Sell that magical gold brick. We're 1/4 of the way to having another life. Okay. Slay 10. I lost some health there, which kind of sucks. So I need to be careful. And these numbers at the top of the screen are all that really matters. So I'm mainly just focusing on what those numbers say. And I'm just repeating like the process of just slaying 10, slaying 10, slaying 10. Eventually the numbers that they're going to show are going to get like really big. I mean, one thing that I could try and do, just start with big numbers. Like, just say you slay like 100. Because I learned you can get up to 100 points now at a time, which is a ridiculous number of points. So just say that you're going to slay 100 of them, even though there are only 9. Because the game already is saying you killed 20 when there are only like 10. So just say big numbers. Like, try and get the AI to like be like, oh wow, you killed so many, like even though there weren't even that many for you to be able to kill, kind of thing. The numbers we're getting are still fairly controlled, but keeping it at 100 early, I guess is really helpful because I won't have to change the number for like a while. So that's cool. It would be nice if there was some way that you always knew why you took damage. Because what it says down here doesn't always convey why you lost health. One thing that I don't like that is like a thing that can happen in this game is you can like earn points that are like less than 10. Like 10 points is like, I guess, the minimum you'd ever want to get. 50 is good. 100 is like the best. If you can get 100 points from an action, it's like a huge achievement. And if you get like a series of 100 points where you just keep getting 100 and 100 and 100 and 100 and 100, it really helps. Right now, my health is at 70, so right now this run doesn't seem particularly good because you don't want to just be losing health like that just constantly. Go to your equipment, no new equipment. Go to your skills. We're going to increase melee again. Last time I had a whole bunch of skills and I went up like really high. Like I had a whole bunch of stuff that I could do. But I'm trying to see if you go straight melee, how good is that? See, sometimes they're like you kill 0 goblins, and that sucks whenever that happens. Do 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 do. Let's see. I've also noticed that like kill has become the terminology rather than slay. So maybe I should change it from slay to kill and say that you are a professional goblin baby killer. And see if that helps at all. Because I want it to say you killed certain number of goblins, because that seems to directly correlate to how many points you get. Is like how many goblins it says that you killed. Let's see. So I killed 67 goblins. That's pretty good. But now my health is at 50. Like I'm really draining health right now, which sucks. For equipment, it would be cool if you had like defensive and offensive equipment, so that you could try and like moderate how much health you lose. Because based on my experience playing this game, a lot of times you take a lot of damage, um, and you get like weapons that help you deal damage, but you don't really get armor. Like armor isn't a thing that they ever actually add to your equipment list, so that kind of sucks. You can get like defensive skills because there are skills like stone skin and stuff like that, which sound inherently like very defensive. But I don't know how good those skills actually are in the long run. And also based on what I've seen other players do, because I'm surprised that other players do like the same thing that I do. It is a very like spammy, grindy game where you have all these like repeated statements that you do over and over again, unless the AI like argues with you on it, and then you try to find something that works. And I do think other people who are at the top are also trying to find exploits. Like that's kind of how you play survival mode, which compared to how I normally play AI Dungeon 2 is like drastically different. They do feel like entirely different games. Let's see. But yes, we gained 100. That's what you want. You want to gain 100 just whenever you can. Ding 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 ding. Bow. Bow 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 bow. That time we killed 23. That's pretty good. Okay, go to equipment, sell the epic spears, save that, and exit. Okay. AI doesn't know what to say. Repeat. Do, 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 do. The goblins are crying. You punch the goblins with your fist, killing 23 of them. The goblins are crying is something I didn't expect it to say. Okay. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Okay. We got an epic gold brick, so we're gonna want to sell that. Okay, we're halfway to buying another life, but we're also halfway dead. So, our melee skill is now at 10. I don't know if your stats can like hit a height where you can't go any further. I'd love to know what that is because I would love to level up as high as I possibly can, right? My melee stat and tap out to where I know that like there's no way that I could get it any higher and then do the like learn a random stat thing. Because as soon as you tap out on melee and then you go to the next stat, then you can just make sure that you're at your highest level with everything that you can do. And I'm curious if there is a cap. Like, can you only get any stat up to like 20? Can you only get stats up to 100? Is there no stat ceiling where you can like infinitely like increase every stat and just keep going? I just need to know if there is a stat ceiling. There's a lot of information for survival mode that I feel like just isn't told to you. And I do think it would be really nice if there was just like more information provided about survival mode, like just a tips section for survival mode specifically. Let's see. Right now, I think I'm doing pretty good in all departments except like health. This health number is like really low. But the number of like kills I have is like really good. I'm very excited by like the number of kills that I currently have. Because I haven't been playing this session for very long. Wow, we just got like 100 more points. And really the only thing that I need to do to get my position back, like to get back up to being number one, would be to break the 3,000 point barrier. Like that's like the big deal right now, is that no one's broken 3,000 points. Do 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 do. Let's see. 59 points. Hey, that's pretty good. Now, if kills do convert directly into points now, that means when you start getting into the territory of like, you're fighting thousands upon thousands of goblins, it's going to get to the point where I actually can get like thousands of points at a time. I actually want to up it to like you kill 1,000 and try and do that. Because if I can get it to convert to like 1,000 points, then I think that would actually like really help my numbers a ton. The thing is, as far as I'm aware, you can only ever get it to go up to like 100 points, in which case upping it to like 1,000 won't do me too good, like it won't do too much. Let's see, so we got a mythical gold brick. Nope, we actually didn't. Excuse me, check your skills. Okay. We're now melee level 12. 7 kills. It says I got an epic gold brick. The equipment AI thing is still really wonky. Like it'll say that you get way more equipment than you actually do, which is really disappointing because you want to have that much equipment so that you can sell it. Like you want to be able to like actually profit off of your equipment. Man, see now it's saying that I killed 38, but then it says I gained 3 points instead of saying that I gained like 38 points. So that's like another section where like the AI is messing up. Give melee up to 13. I also do really want them to implement a system where you can pick the skill that you want. Ooh, yes. We earned 100 points. That's always really good. It's very satisfying to get like 100 points at any time. I hope you can earn more than 100 points now. But I wish you could sell skill points specifically and use and sell skill points in order to either earn gold, that'd be cool, or to allow you to 50 points. That's not bad. It would be cool if you could use it to earn gold, and it'd be cool if you could use it to pick specific skills, because a lot of your skills are like magic spells and stuff. If you could pick a magic spell from like a list rather than randomly getting a magic spell, but it costs you two like skill points instead of spending like one skill point to get a random one, or if it costs like 5 to pick it, it still seems like it'd be worth it because you get to actually like have more control over your character's build. Also, if you could respec your points, that would be really cool. Maybe you can only respec once you hit like a certain like number of kills, or you can respec, but it costs you like multiple skill points to respec. Let's see. I do feel like survival mode could definitely be a lot better. I do feel like survival mode accepts a lot of like repeat inputs, and I feel like a lot of players are exploiting the fact that you can just say the same thing over and over again, including myself. But if the game implemented something that prevented you from doing that, people would have to play differently. And I think that would be fine. Like people would just like adapt and you would do something else. I think the only thing that would suck is how do you catch up to all the people who are on the leaderboard already who like were able to play by repeating the same thing over and over again and taking advantage of like the AI's weaknesses. Like when you make the game better, it seems like a lot of things that would make the game better would make it harder. But if you make the game harder, then it allows for the people who are currently like the head honchos to stay the head honchos, and it makes it where people who would be like new to the game would have a lot of trouble being able to catch up. For example, I thought it was really interesting that I got like pretty high on the leaderboard, and then they introduced the skill system, and then once they had the skill system, I like had fallen on the leaderboard. Then I used the skill system. I jumped way higher on the leaderboard than I'd ever been before, kind of thing. But that's just the way it is. It's like the more they like mess with the game, the more it's going to change the game like competitively. And I'm curious like how people are going to feel about that, because you can either change it in a way that makes it easier for people to like beat the highest score, or you can change it in a way that makes it harder for people to beat the highest score. And I guess it's about like finding a balance, because you don't want the people who worked really hard on the game when it was more difficult to feel cheated, but you also don't want people who are new to the game to feel cheated because the game's much harder than when the other people played it. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's like an interesting thing that the developers of AI Dungeon 2 have to try and balance when developing the game. But I do think if you could make it where you couldn't repeat stuff, that'd be really interesting because it forces the player to constantly be like creative. If you gave the player more control over their build, like what actual skills you could pick, that'd be really cool. Um, so my health right now is like really low. Like I have really low health. My kills are really high, I would say. I have like hella kills right now. I'm constantly boosting my melee skill. Um, but goodness, I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna beat this 3,000 point barrier. Because if they don't give me more equipment to sell, I only need like a couple more pieces of equipment to sell, and I'll be able to get another life. But if I don't get another life, it seems like I'm gonna die before I'm able to like break the 3,000 point barrier. It also seems crazy how like effortlessly I'm like beating the current barrier. You know what I mean? Like how easily I hit 1,000. I remember when hitting 1,000 was like really hard. Now I'm like hitting 1,000 like no sweat, but it's like you have to go so much further than 1,000. Like how are you gonna do that? Do 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 do. Yeah, getting like 100 points definitely helps. As I mentioned before, getting 100 points like really matters. It's like the difference between like doing really well and just like losing and like eating shit. But I need like two more loot drops, but I also only have like 20 health left. Um, so I need to do better. One thing that's crazy about like my current score, yesterday this score would have been like a number one record. Today the score would get me in the top 10, but it's not like worth anything. Oof. And we're getting pretty close to like 2,000. I already broke the 2,000 barrier, but you need to break like the 2,900 barrier right now to be of any worth. And really, you want to break the 3,000 barrier if you like want to hold a title that's like a challenge kind of thing. Like the more you like are essentially stomping over like everybody else's score in the top 10 list, the harder it's going to be for anybody to like keep up with what you've done and to be able to like really square up against you. Sadly, they're not giving me like any equipment at all for me to sell, and I have so little health. Also, it'd be nice if I knew what my skills actually did for me. You know what I mean? I know that the skills seem to be more or less like randomly like named things that sound cool, but it'd be nice if it's like this skill increases your average number of kills by like this number, like average number of like kills per turn. Or if like this score helps increase your health by like this much percent per turn, or this score helps to like increase your inventory by like X amount. I would actually really love that because it would just feel more like a game. Like it would help you like feel like your skills are actually doing something and helping you progress. Oh my gosh, my health is so low. Please. They didn't actually give me equipment even though it said I found an epic gold brick. So now I'm like one equipment piece away from being able to buy another life. And I can't buy another life even though it says that I earned a piece of equipment that I didn't actually earn. That's part of the reason why it's like if there was like a treasure hunter skill or something that increased like the chances of you getting loot each turn off of like a goblin that you kill, that would be amazing. You know what I mean? So I just got 100 more points. I got an epic gold brick. Did I really? I did, and I can sell it, and I can buy a life. That was really close. And keep in mind, because I'm going like full melee fighter, I'm not using any weapons or anything. It really matters. It really helps me with like being able to always afford lives. right? Excuse me. Because if I'm holding on to a bunch of equipment and constantly changing between equipment pieces in my inventory and stuff, then that would mean that all that money that could be going towards like lengthening my playtime, because the longer you play, the more goblins you can kill over time. Um, to me, it's just like a waste to use your equipment for anything other than money. Like it seems like that's what your equipment is really for, is to just like get you lives so you can just keep playing longer. If I knew what the equipment did, like similar to the skills, if certain equipment helped you find loot more often, or helped you like kill more, or helped you like gain more lives or something, then I would value like equipment way more. I would think that equipment was like kind of important. Um, but now the only importance equipment really has is just gold. Just like funnel it into like the live system as much as possible. When I look at somebody's goblin survival story, because you're able to publish the story, it sucks that the story isn't shared in such a way to where you can see here's how many enemy remaining they had like this turn, and here's how much health they had this turn, and here's how many lives they had this turn, and here's how many kills they had this turn. Because the numbers are like a big part of your like enjoyment of being able to like read the story and follow and see like, ooh, was this like a tense moment? Was their health really low? Oh man, was this like when they like broke the 2,000 point barrier, stuff like that. You can't get moments like that reading someone else's survival story when they don't share those moments with you. I wish you could read what the Goblin bot says. Like, this is the game mode where I do want to be able to follow someone's story like super closely and to know like all the nitty gritty. Why is it that when I look at somebody else's story, I can't see like what skills they had and how high they leveled their skills up and what equipment they had at like each turn? It's a lot of information, I will say, and I don't necessarily know how well you could share all that. But when I'm looking at somebody's like world record run, when somebody's like the number one player in the world in AI Dungeon 2 survival mode, I want to be able to like know all the stats and like understand their strategy and what was happening behind the scenes and what was going through their head. Um, Similar to like a lit RPG. Lit RPGs are essentially novels that take place either inside of video game worlds or are heavily inspired by like video game mechanics. So they'll include stuff like when a character tries to attack, there's like a it's essentially like there's like an attack roll kind of thing that occurs. And even if the roll is something that in universe the characters aren't aware of, you as a reader get to see like, oh, they rolled this and they had like these modifiers and stuff like that. So you can read through it and really like feel the excitement of what's going on like on the page as if you were watching someone like play a game and you could see all the stats and everything. Just food for thought. Like I think that would be really cool. I have a lot of ideas for what I think would make this mode a lot cooler and make it something that I get like more excited about. One thing that would be, as the kids say, poggers or whatever, would be if I could get enough loot to buy another life before I lose my like current life. If I could be sitting on 3 lives or whatever, I'd feel really confident. Not to say that I don't feel super confident right now, but right now, I'm just barely holding on to my first life. Excuse me. And I still need to break the 3,000 point barrier. I'm just in the 2,000 point barrier right now, which last game was like huge. It was such a like big deal when I like hit number one and I broke the 2,000 point barrier. But now the 2,000 point barrier isn't as big of a deal. Multiple people have now broken that. It was at a time something only I had ever done. And because now it's like a super special thing, because it's less of a special thing, um, I'm not as excited that I have like 2,000 something points. I haven't even beaten my like previous score yet. You know what I mean? I need to get into that like 3,000 wheelhouse to not only break the record, but to like cement my record. Okay, so we actually did get the epic troll tooth that time, which was really cool. One thing that I think I mentioned in my previous video that I'd really love to see added to the game, in the same way to where you get a skill point like every 5 turns, I'd love it if you had like a regular like loot rate where every 5 turns you get like a new piece of loot, or if you do a like especially impressive kill, like you kill like a whole bunch of goblins, you get rewarded with like special loot, or you get like more skill points than normal, or you learn a random skill automatically and it doesn't cost you any skill points. Like I like to be rewarded in more ways than just the points so that it can help me gain more points. The points are the most important. Like I will agree that like I do like that I'm getting a ton of points each time. I'm not saying that you shouldn't get a ton of points, but that you could get more than just a ton of points when you do something really cool. Okay? We're getting closer now. Oh crap, we lost one of our lives. We're getting closer now to breaking through that barrier, especially with these repeated like 100-point games. But I'm not gonna feel satisfied until we like break into 3,000 points. The goblins start to attack you, you aren't armed. So yeah, this is the thing that I've noticed that the game likes to do. It'll suddenly start reacting to you. Yeah, it'll start reacting to you like getting an advantage. So it's upset that I'm not like arming myself with equipment. I don't want to. Check your skills. You do have a skill point available, like increase your melee. Let's see. Try the same thing over again. Just keep repeating. Let's see. Using your melee skill. I think that you're not armed thing is really annoying. Because now that they have a skill system where you can have like spells and you can improve your melee and stuff like that, I like how it says that is not a weapon. So I'm like, I'm gonna use my melee skill to beat him, and they're like, but that's not a weapon. You don't have a weapon. But it's like, what about your skills? Why can't you use your skills? Why can't you? Say using like a barrage of punches. These hands are a pandemic, sir, is one of my favorite Ace Vane quotes. Ace Vane is a cool YouTuber if you guys haven't checked him out. The whole like you're not armed thing is like hella bugging. And it keeps saying that I'm like getting equipment and then it's not giving me the equipment. So even if I wanted to try to work around the whole like, oh, I'm not armed thing, the game isn't letting me work around not being armed. Like if I wanted to equip something. Because now they're just draining my health away. I'm going to equip the Mystic Scroll because of the fact that it's bitching that I'm not armed. Now I am armed. What are you going to do about it? You can't say I'm unarmed. Cool. Man, that sucks. So I'd much rather like sell a mystic scroll than like hold on to it. But I need to keep getting like points. I'm getting closer to like breaking that barrier. AI got stuck, which is normally bad news bears because it means that the AI will like add more goblins because a turn passed. Yeah. So that's always kind of a bummer. Blah blah blah. Yeah, increase that melee skill. Cool. It'd be interesting if skills were directly tied to different like weapon types. Because then you could be like, you have an X type weapon, and X type weapons are even better if you have like Y type skill. Because I have a Mystic Scroll, but I have no magic based skills. It'd be really interesting if the game was like magic based skills work better with a Mystic Scroll, but melee based skills would work better with like a club or something. Nice, we gained another 100 points. So now we're like ridiculously close to like breaking the world record, and it still isn't giving me inventory. I like legitimately need inventory because now I'm like halfway dead essentially. If I get 100 more points, we definitely are like first place. If I get like 30 more points, we're definitely in first place. Sell the Mystic Scroll, sell the Epic Club. I want equipment. Like, give me like a ton of equipment. I don't want to take any damage. I want to like earn like 100 points. Like if it was like you get 100 points, you get a Mystic Scroll. Oh wow, that's exactly what it said. Dun, 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 dun. Cool. I need to do that like every turn. I'm pretty sure we just got the world record straight up. Like right now, we're like sitting on the world record. Melee skill at 25. Publish this and say like #1 world record again. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. In a new tab, we'll drag over the survival stuff. Let's get in there. Yeah. And let's look to double check that we're actually #1. We are actually #1. Yo! So we're now in first place. Ooh, look at this. The 1,000 point barrier is now like a bare minimum to be in the top 10. That's crazy. When I first started playing this game competitively, to get into the top 10, you only needed like 311. Okay, let's see how much higher you can go. Like now we've broken the 3,000 point barrier. If we can like get to like the 3,500 point barrier, or if we can go beyond that and we can get to like the 4,000 point barrier, like stuff like that will like really change the competitive scene. Like people are gonna have to bring up like a higher A game just to list. So the number's probably gonna spike, like the number of enemies again is gonna spike. Gaining 100 points is always good. You want to get a lot of like 100 point gains. Also, I've learned the secret, I guess, now. Whenever the AI gets really snippy at you and says like, oh well, you have Like, you're unarmed, so the goblins just beat you up. That just means equip a weapon. Which, now that I say that out loud, it sounds really obvious, but I always would get upset because I'm like, I solely want to like fight without weapons. Like, I'm trying to play almost like as like a monk. A mystic scroll still works well for that, I suppose, but it's not quite what I was doing before. Ooh, we're now at 3471. Make sure that you're like constantly saving, because that's what I like to do. I have run into an issue before where I got like a high score, but not like a super high score, so I wasn't too mad about it. But it gave me a not a number error, and it reset all my values, and it like really upset me. So now we should be at 35, so we broke like the 35 barrier. Just keep going. Like, you need to break that 4,000 point barrier if you really want to like school on them. You gotta like style on them for real. Because this is what drives the competitive scene, is like legitimate competition. So you have to introduce legitimate competition, so that people like continue to fight to like break past your score. And then as people continue to break past your score, you develop like rivalries with like people like Safkey and stuff. And you motivate each other to like keep playing more and to invest more time into the game, and to get better. But also it kind of inspires you to want to see the game like get better, like from a development point of view. Like, the longer I play this game, the more I'm like, I have like all these ideas on what could potentially make this game more fun. Because I'll tell you right now, when I play AI Dungeon 2, I do like to play goal-oriented AI Dungeon 2, where you're trying to like accomplish a goal, and getting a certain number of kills is definitely like accomplishing a goal. But I like being able to do more than just you kill goblins and kill goblins and you kill goblins and you kill goblins. I still don't think AI Dungeon 2's survival mode is something that you can play like very casually for fun, like you can normal AI Dungeon 2. I think one thing that would really help is if you didn't have to kill goblins. Like, if it was based on number of kills and you're a monster hunter and you go and you like fight monsters, I think I'd feel very differently about it. If you got points from completing like quests and not all your quests were killing things, like sometimes you have to like learn something about a character, something that promotes you like talking, I guess. Also, we broke the 4,000 point barrier. Because I think one thing that's like kind of annoying is that in AI Dungeon 2, you can do anything and you can say anything. And technically, I could be like fighting these goblins using whatever I want and like writing like all these wacky, goofy ways to like kill the goblins, but that's not optimal. Like, it seems like the optimal thing to do in this game is to like nerf the goblins really hard with like how you describe them, and boost yourself up really well with how you describe yourself with like every action that you do, and you just can get a lot out of it. You can like really milk that for like all it's worth and get these like huge scores. Like, now I'm getting like 100 points like literally like every turn. Just like stacking them up constantly. Like, this is what optimum play looks like right now. I want optimum play of this to look more like what just having fun in AI Dungeon 2 looks like. Just like goofing around and letting your imagination go wild. This isn't letting my imagination go wild. This is me just thinking, what convinces the game that you just win? Excuse me. So it's about like understanding what the game wants you to do and just doing what the game wants you to do. And in a game where you can have like unlimited freedom, I don't think this is like the best way to like convey that unlimited freedom. The Felguard swings its axe at you. I'm curious if that matters. Yeah, because I'm just gonna kill 1,000 defenseless goblins. Yeah, I imagine they were trying to like make me react. So it's like, well, what about the Felguard swinging its axe? And it's like it doesn't really matter. So the Felguard is still coming after me. Like the game's like I'm not gonna give up on that like idea that now you have to deal with the Felguard. But I'm like I actually don't have to deal with the Felguard, and my melee skill is like 29. Like I don't know. I think I can keep just doing what I'm doing and not address the fact that this guy is like trying to kill me. Yeah, like I can just keep racking up like 100 points each and every time. And it doesn't matter what the AI tries to say to like interrupt me, as long as I'm like satisfying what the AI has already said previously. So I'm armed, so the AI can't say I'm not unarmed. I'm a professional goblin baby killer, so the game can't say that I'm like not a like professional goblin baby killer and say that I can't do stuff. Um, so I can just like keep rolling. So now I have 65 gold pieces, and my melee skill is at 30. I'm very curious if there is a skill cap, or if I can just keep increasing my melee skill. Ooh, it says I got knocked off my feet, which is really interesting. So I lost some health. That's fine. Yeah, the higher you get, the more the AI will actively try to like screw you over. Let's see. Didn't matter that I got knocked off my feet, so I lost a little bit of health when I got knocked off my feet. I'm still like gaining like 100 points a turn. Oh, there are now more than 1,000. Okay, I think that's what's currently happening. It's the idea that like I'm saying I'm taking out 1,000 every turn, but 1,000 is like nothing. So amp up to 2,000. Check your equipment. Sell the gold brick. You're getting a lot closer to being able to get another life. 31 points in melee. Keep it going. So I'm getting repeatedly like knocked off my feet now. I don't know what you're supposed to do. Like at least when the AI says something along the lines of like you're unarmed, I know that I should go into my equipment. I should like put something in my equipment. I kind of wish whenever you took damage, this actually would be really cool. What if whenever you took damage, the AI would say something like, if you had a blank, you'd be able to like avoid that. Like maybe it's trying to tell you you have the wrong equipment or you have no equipment or you're like using like the wrong skills or you need more skills or you need to like improve one of the skills you already have. Because then it would motivate you to like mess with your inventory and it would motivate you to like invest skill points. So I would like that. Like if you got knocked off your feet by the goblins, sure, but it should say that like since you got knocked off your feet by the goblins, in order to recover, you need to like equip a new weapon, or you need to like switch to unarmed combat, or you need to increase one of your skills, or you need to like add a new skill. Stuff like that would be cool. I guess the only issue would be the adding a new skill thing because you have a limited number of skills you can add. So if you ever got into a situation where you couldn't recover because you literally can't have any more skills, it would like break your gameplay. You essentially wouldn't be able to continue. So maybe not add a new skill thing, or maybe you only get prompted to do that if you haven't capped out on your skills yet. Because I think you have a limit of 15 or 16 skills that you can have before it stops you from adding more skills. Because right now I'm repeatedly getting like knocked off my feet. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't even know how you really protect from that, actually. Like getting knocked off your feet. Am I supposed to try to disarm the goblins with their clubs? Like I'm actively like killing them. Like whenever I'm not getting knocked off my feet, it's saying that you like kill like 100 of them or whatever. I guess for the last few turns, I've just been getting knocked off my feet. Ooh, it says you use the Mystic Scroll and the goblins stop their attack and back away. That's kind of interesting. Like I like how they describe that. I also would love it if like some of the implied rarities made more sense. You know, you have Mystic Scrolls, you have Epic Scrolls, but which is better? Like, would you rather have an Epic Scroll or a Mystic Scroll? I imagine there are also like superior scrolls and like stuff like that. But what's the best? Um, Dang it, I keep getting knocked off my feet, and I keep losing health from getting knocked off my feet. And it's gonna stop me from hitting like the 500-point barrier if that keeps happening. I think I just lost a life, which is why that went away. Um, how do I resist getting knocked off my feet? You're a professional goblin baby killer and you effortlessly kill 2,000. You use your mystic scroll to defend yourself. Well, I guess to maintain your balance and to shield yourself so that you don't get knocked off your feet. Because they keep doing that. I keep getting knocked off my feet. So I'm like, I'm going to use the scroll so I don't get knocked off my feet. I'm protected from getting my... Oh, it said -1 lives remaining. Please don't do the not a number error. Please don't do a not a number error. Whew, it didn't do the not a number error, which is really good. I still got knocked off my feet anyways. But why? I mean, not even but why, but how? Like, how did I get knocked off my feet? I'm now, like, trying to accommodate for what you're saying and saying, like, okay, I do this to, like, protect myself from getting knocked off my feet. And the game's still like, no, you can't get that either. Yes, okay, so it's letting me do it. It's letting me actually, like, not get knocked off my feet. Now there are way more than like 2,000 goblins. I need to up it to like, here I'm killing like 3,000 goblins effortlessly or whatever. I'm so close to breaking the 5,000 point barrier, and I'm pretty close to buying another life. Excuse me. I got knocked off my feet again. Yeah, that's gonna get really annoying real quick. Just one more item. I wonder how long it'll take me to get that one additional item. And then I'll finally be able to do what I need to do. Let's see. Yes. And hopefully I actually did get that one more item. I did. And now I'm going to buy a life. So I have 80 health, and I'm on a life, and I'm about to get like another life. And what if for every 1,000 kills, you actually were rewarded with like another life, or you were rewarded with like a skill point or something? Both of those I think would be really cool. Let's check the scoreboard again to make sure the scoreboard has like our updated numbers. Yep, it does. So see how we're like dwarfing the like previous scores on the list? That's what you have to do to like stay in there. To stay number one. Oh, I'm still killing 2,000. I need to be killing like 3,000 of them now. Yeah, I'm killing too few. So change it from 2,000 to 3,000. Okay. Yep, that's what we needed. Sell the mythical gold brick and the scroll. Let's see. Skills. There we go. Let's keep rolling. So 70 health and 1 life is not bad. The biggest issue I'm having right now is that the AI, even though I have a thing that like sometimes keeps me from getting knocked off my feet, I'm not like protected from getting knocked off my feet at all times. Let's see. Instead of so that you don't get knocked off your feet, say so that you can't get knocked off your feet. The language may actually help imply that it's like impossible to knock you off your feet. Yeah. Because essentially I'm just like repeatedly getting hit with the like clubs and getting like knocked on my ass kind of thing. Okay, so say to maintain your perfect balance, yeah, like you can buff yourself with your words, which is like a really important thing in this game. Okay, equipment, sell the epic gold brick, see skills, still good. I'm curious how I would feel if I was watching like somebody else play this. I imagine if I could like watch someone else's gameplay of survival mode, I would try and see like, do I agree with like their strategies? How different is their strategy from mine? Like what are the advantages and disadvantages of their strategy over what I do? Stuff like that would be like what I would be looking out for if I was like viewing someone else play. Ooh, okay. We got a Mystic Scroll and we gained 100 more points. We have 30 GP, but we only have 45 health. I'd really like to buy like another life. If we could break the 10,000 point barrier, that'd be like quite ridiculous. Okay, here's something that you can do. Because you can just keep saying more stuff. You use your Mystic Scroll to disarm, I guess, to destroy all nearby clubs so that no one has any clubs. Yeah. Because if no one has any clubs, then they can't do that bullshit where they use clubs to knock me off my feet. Like in the same way that I can repeat, the game can repeat in a loop that like hurts me. So you want to like stop the game from being able to like hurt you while you constantly just get like a benefit loop. See, I'm still getting like knocked off my feet. But I'm trying. we go. Don't knock me off my feet. Okay, they knocked me off my feet again. And I fell down to like 15 health. Yeah, in my mind, I hear that song. It's like, in the end, it doesn't even matter. Okay, let's see. To levitate out of the range. Well, I guess use your Mystic Scroll to levitate. If I'm levitating, how are they going to knock me off my feet? Okay. I found the Epic Scroll of Flame. Sell it. If it's too specific, the AI will start saying stuff like, yeah, you didn't know goblins are immune to fire? It's always some stupid shit like that. Excuse me. They're like, now you have like an epic scroll of flying or whatever. Again, too specific. You would much rather just have a mystic scroll. Because you don't want the game to semantics you to death. I had a pretty fun run where I used a fire gem, and I was very descriptive in how I used the fire gem to like slay the goblins. And eventually the game said the goblins are just immune to fire. The game just said scenario : which is really interesting. I don't know what's happening. But yeah, that's very interesting. Oh, it keeps saying scenario. Did I break it? Like, why is it saying scenario over and over again? What? Change it to you kill 4,000 defenseless unarmed goblins. Yeah, I get that the AI doesn't know what to say. The AI started saying scenario. Dang. Yes, it started working again. They should fix whatever the scenario glitch is. Oh shit. The scenario glitch is back. I guess as long as I don't take any damage during the scenario glitch, I'm good. Wow. It says I'm surrounded by goblins. Yeah, but I'm levitating, so it doesn't matter. What are they gonna do? Try to knock me off my feet? I'm not on my feet. Stupid goblins. They're more organized. That's an interesting way to describe it. Okay. I'm now going to use my Mystic Scroll to confuse, disorient, and incapacitate the goblins as I kill them. It doesn't matter how organized they are. They should be disoriented or whatever. They're more organized, right? You kill the goblin leader. Well, now it's just that they're swarming around me. You use your Mystic Scroll to knock back and disorganize the goblins. You gotta kill 5,000 now. I'm disorganizing them though. I'm actively trying to disorganize them. Yeah, like, what are you supposed to have? Like, a skill that disorganizes goblins? I need another life. I need another life bad. Excuse me. Ooh. To isolate the goblins so that you can kill them one at a time. Maybe that's what I need to do. Like, I need to use the Mystic Scroll in such a way to where it's like they don't swarm around me because they can't. How are they surrounding me? Like, now I'm confused by that concept. They're like, they're still surrounding you kind of thing, but it's like I'm isolating them so I can kill them one at a time. So how am I getting surrounded? I stab a dragon with my sword. That's just not even what I said. That's interesting though. What? It said I had a skill point, and then it suddenly said, like, you're at -1 health, fam. I was like, what hurt me? What's happening? I didn't get an epic dragon skill, even though that's what I asked for. Well, that's not what I asked for. That's what the game said that I got. What? I'm being attacked by a dragon. Why is it now a dragon? Am I at the boss? Does this game have a boss? Okay, hold on. I guess I have to deal with the dragon. Use your Mystic Scroll to reflect the dragon's fire. Back edit. Instantly killing the dragon with its own attack. Oh, I'm dead now. My new score is 58-57. It just introduced a dragon and killed me, kind of thing. Is that what I should expect out of the game now? There's like a boss, and the boss is a dragon that shows up once you get like a certain number of points and tries to kill you. If so, I'll be wary of that, like, in the future. But definitely let me know, like, if this is like a real part of the game that's supposed to happen. Like, you get to the dragon part and like shit gets real. Because I've never gotten this far before. No one's ever gotten this far before. So So if the dragon is a part of the equation, definitely let me know. Anyways, thank you all for watching. If you guys like this video, make sure to smash that like button, favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding ding ding, ring that notification bell to notify that. And ding ding ding, ring that notification bell to be notified whenever we do these videos. This is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet like the one only, logging out. Peace, guys. Check it guy. Stay tuned for daily AI Dungeon 2 videos. Check it out.